Property investors, retailers, analysts and agents all gathered this morning at Grosvenor's offices to discuss luxury retail in the West End. The event was hosted by the new West End company and it revealed three key findings. Firstly, that the public realm and traffic in the West End, in particular Bond Street, has to be improved if it is to compete with other major world centres. Secondly, that more should be done to make it easier for other nationalities, the Chinese in particular, to obtain visas to visit the UK. Up to 2 million visitors from China visit continental Europe, and just 100,000 of these come to the UK. Thirdly and lastly, the wealthy foreign student market is growing in importance and more can be done to capture their luxury retail spend. Retailers' concepts, of which streets in the West End are luxurious, has evolved and spread geographically over the past decade and more.
When we started, people would talk about requirements for Bond Street or Sloane Street. You now see requirements for Mayfair. You see retailers who enter the UK through Selfridges. You would have never seen that 15 years ago. Selfridges are a huge brand in their own right now and very valuable, increasingly valuable in the role they play in the West End. Or people will come into Harrods. You see people who now want to say Mayfair, so they talk about Mount Street, or they talk about King Street and Covent Garden. And the changes are happening all over the West End, and it has to be a good thing.
CBRE's David Kenningham believes that the growth in the luxury retail sector in the West End is sustainable and that continued demand is encouraging hefty premiums for stores.
I think it is sustainable, and actually I think you're going to see more growth come through on all of the major streets over a period of time. And the fact that premiums are being paid, both on new leases and for existing leases, just symptomatic of that demand.
Finally, the new West End company has taken steps to minimise the threat of terrorism and crime, such as the recent rioting on the West End.
What we said was actually it's about policing responsibly and properly, and we've arranged a whole sort of plan with the Metropolitan Police to make sure that the events last time won't be repeated. So that's the first point, about control and about understanding the impact on retail. And second point was about communication, so that everybody knows what's going on at all times. We've set up a new communication framework in order that retailers can understand what to do if there are these sort of events in the future.